What up, YouTube Alaics? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today we have a 2 versus 2 matchup featuring the Scion Custom Races mod. If you're not familiar with this mod, it adds 3 new playable races to the StarCraft universe, 2 of which are featured in today's matchup, so it should be an interesting one. Let's go ahead and quickly introduce our teams. Team number 1, spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our red Keiron player InanisLetor with his ally spawning just to his left. It's our purple Protoss player Fireally. Going up against team number 2, spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our teal Genetron player Kytrion with his ally spawning just to his right. It's our blue Zerg player artemblack. Now, immediately, I saw something sus coming out from the red player, and indeed, we have the conduit. I'm not going to spoil this just yet, but I suspect this is going to be a harassment opener coming out from our red player. And one really cool thing about the conduit is it's a floating building, so the Keiron can build straight up flying structures. It's really cool. Anyway, we'll see if I'm right. I suspect I am about this opener. And here it is, actually. Oh, yep, here it is, the Echo. So InanisLetor spoiling this for me right away, building the Echo. Now, this is kind of like our Oracle equivalent for the Keiron, but it doesn't kill units. Instead, it has a Discord mode, which creates a bubble that slows things down and slows production down as well. So units and production both will be slowed, and it also has sonic image, which allows it to kind of get away quickly. It creates like a shade, and here it is. It creates a shade that it can warp to in case of danger. And on the production tab, we also see Dissonance Projector. So Dissonance Projector is an upgrade for the Echo. When it's in Discord mode, it will allow this unit to be cloaked. This is absolutely rude, and unfortunately for Kytrion, he can't build the processor yet because he doesn't have a relay tower, I don't think. Oh, this is going to be rough. And we have a third base also coming down for InanisLetor. So on top of this harassment, also expanding to a greedy location. That is crazy. And another Echo flying towards what I believe is the Zerg side of the map. And there's no Spore Crawler here. Oh, no. And artemblack, he has sight of this. He knows what's going on his ally side of the map. He should build some sort of detection for himself, a Spore Crawler or something. We'll see. We have the Blitzer here, but there's no detection. The Blitzer can't shoot up, and there's also a Mole which can't shoot up, but it's basically like a siege tank. And here it is, the second Echo. Oh, man, and now the Spore Crawler is being built, but at a slow rate. What I would do is maybe build it outside of this bubble, but nonetheless, it looks like artemblack couldn't care less because we have some Zerglings running across the map, and I believe they will spot this greedy base based on their movement. A couple pariahs here, and they look really cool, actually. I don't know if I've seen that skin before. They look kind of different than I remember, but either way, the pariah, it's kind of like an adept slash zealot mix. But here we go. Looks like this Spore Crawler is almost finished. Meanwhile, the Citadel, which is in stasis, just barely not finished, is being attacked by these Zerglings. The Spore Crawler is finished. We have a processor here as well, I believe. Here it is. Yeah, because I saw the action on the map, so I think those Echoes will go down unless InanisLetor warps them away, but no. Looks like that Echo did go down, and the Citadel surviving just barely, but we need some converters on that Citadel to build it. And here it is, finally finished, slightly dead, and by slightly dead, I mean very dead. It does have a shield now, which is helpful, a Warp Prism. Oh, this is interesting. What do we have on the field for our Protoss player? What is this Warp Prism going to be used for? Adepts, maybe? I don't know. These players are playing really aggressively. Team number 1 is going crazy, man. We have a lot of adepts here on the field. But this Warp Prism is doing something super sus. I don't really know what's going on here with that Warp Prism. Either way, though, it looks like team number 2 is going for vengeance. We have a Zergling here spotting base number 3, and unfortunately for artemblack, it looks like this Overlord was spotted. It will likely go down to the laser beams of that Stalker. Meanwhile, it looks like a split of the armies or of the army, I should say, for Kytrion, kind of sieging up his moles and moving out with just 3 units, and I don't think this is enough, and Kytrion immediately realizing that is not enough. I've played some games with him, and I know him well enough that his game sense is pretty good. He would realize immediately that that is not an army he can deal with. Meanwhile, oh, wow, okay. So we have a shield on this ward, and the ward is basically like... Actually, wait a minute. The ward looks a lot different than I'm used to. I know there were some patches since the last time I've done some more kind of contemporary casts of this mod, so it looks like the ward is moving a lot faster, but basically the way this unit is designed is it has a DPS that is dependent on its distance from other units, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was the ward, but even its attack animation is different, so maybe I'm completely wrong. Either way, though, this army is getting attacked. Actually, no, it's not the ward. It's a different unit that I'm remembering. So the ward is kind of like a support unit. I'm remembering that right now. It's a different unit that has that kind of DPS dependent on distance. So we'll see if those are built later. But regardless, we have a big engagement here, and we have a warp-in as well of zealots, of charge zealots, I think. Oh, man, do we have charge finished? No, wait a minute. I don't think we do. No, we don't have charge zealots. So these are normal zealots doing some damage at base number 3. Meanwhile, it looks like the Keiron able to hold this with the help of his Protoss ally. And here it is. It's the Inducer. You can see why I got confused, right? So we have the Ward, which is our support unit that can create like shields and stuff. And we have the Inducer. So the Inducer is dependent on range for its DPS. This ball of energy here will go to an enemy unit and then fly back to its back and then repeat. So the closer you are, the more DPS it does. I'm really glad InanisLetor built that because I was about to go crazy forgetting the name of this unit. So it's the same. It looks exactly the same as it did in the past. And a lot of nullifiers being built here. The nullifier, kind of like a photon cannon equivalent, but it only shoots down. I believe it's called the interdictor. Yeah, leave a comment down below about that one. But the interdictor is the anti-air static defense for the Keiron. So the nullifier is your here we go, your anti-ground static defense. Absolutely melting that Zergling, by the way. Meanwhile, there's a lot of stuff moving around on the left-hand side of the map. Artemblack with a lot of Zerg units here, and this army's actually looking genuinely terrifying. I think this is enough to deal with the Protoss stuff. We'll see. We'll see what Fireally decides to do about this. We'll spot these Zerglings. Maybe we'll be able to bait a few of them, and we'll also be able to kill that that Zerg unit, that Ravager there. Oh, man, here we go. So one Ravager, 2 Ravagers left, actually, and we have some red units here. So the team number 1's kind of split right now. Typically, and I've said this in virtually every cast I've done featuring a 2v2, you kind of want to attack together because you'll be in situations like this where you're kind of fighting 1v1 or at times 2v1. But regardless, it seems to be working out for team number 1. This base going down potentially. We have another base here, though, the gold base. Looks like it will finally go down. We have the Insiders. So the Insider is basically like a Reaper. If a Reaper was, here we go. If a Reaper was a machine. So you can see that they actually are able to cliff jump, which is hilarious. A big warp-in or shade-in of Adepts here at the Golden Base. The fact this Golden Base is still alive is actually astonishing to me, but that's fine. It's still got full shields, and it actually also regenerates health, by the way, but very, very slowly. This is such a scary-looking army for the Zerg player, though. A lot of Banelings here as well, which I kind of like, but I'm not entirely sure it's ideal for the composition that the Protoss player has. As much as I dislike Stalkers just as a unit, they really do eat Banelings for breakfast, and I can't really deny it. Oh, and here we go. It looks like a flank on the Zerg army. Fireally seeing his ally moving in, going for the shade here, but Kytrion trying to help his brother out. Oh, man, I really don't know what to even look at this point. There's so much action on the map. It looks like the Zerg player is forced to retreat a little bit back onto the creep. Okay, for a second I thought these were converters, but no, these are Elytrions from the Myriad. So the Myriad's kind of like a ground carrier, but it only holds 3 interceptor equivalents. And here we go. My favorite unit in the Scion Custom Races mod, the Jupiter. This is basically a bomb ship. It is super, super cool. Where is it? Here it is. So we saw that briefly. It basically throws down... It's like I said, it's a bomb ship, so it throws bombs on whatever you want. Here we go, and then it can just fly out of dodge. It's super, super cool. So we have a lot going on in this game right now. We're only 11 minutes in, but I mean, virtually half the map is taken by both teams. And this army reminds me a lot of a scary, scary Protoss ball. This hatchery will go down at this point. artemblack, I don't think really is too keen on defending it, or at the very least engaging in this army. But here we go. The Jupiter's getting some great hits, and they also do damage over time. Some fire damage over time, actually. InanisLetor losing a lot of stuff here. Those Jupiters, man, just doing so much DPS with the help of the remaining Genetron units. And how many kills do these Jupiters have now at this point? Let's take a quick look. Okay, here we go. This Jupiter with 1 kill, actually, and almost dead. This Jupiter with 5 kills. So I guess the DPS kind of softened it up for the rest of the team number 2 stuff to deal with. So either way, though, looks like the macro for the red Keiron player is pretty good, all things considered. Some lurkers for our blue Zerg player here as well, and a big transfer of ACRs to what I believe is going to be this base, which is just now finishing up. And we'll see. We'll see. I don't know who's going to come out ahead. Let's take a look at the resources lost. So red and blue have lost a lot of stuff, and purple and teal have lost not as much stuff, and that actually looks pretty even across the board for both teams. Now things are quieting down. Here we go. Let's see. InanisLetor with these myriads. I like that a lot. There's an observer here for Fireally as well, which is following this army around. Oh, and we have the Jupiters doing some harassment here. These probes burning to death, so many going down, some surviving though. There's a lot of immortals here, actually. Way more immortals than I would expect. That is crazy. I love to see it though. Immortals are one of my favorite Protoss unit just from an aesthetics perspective. Very cool. We also have some Phoenixes as well. What do we have on the production tab? We have +3 attack finishing, +3 ground attack finishing for our Protoss player, and we have 1 air attack that's on the way. Some DTs here as well, spotting this base. Will it force the cancel, though, is the question. This DT fighting by itself does not force the cancel. artemblack needs some detection there, though. Otherwise, that's a free 300 minerals. Another hatchery going down. A big engagement here. Oh, man, but this looks kind of like a 2v1 situation, unfortunately, and this is exactly what I was talking about. You don't want to be 2v1ing, because even if you have a ridiculously good army, you will be destroyed, unfortunately. I mean, going 1 versus 2 is just not ideal. This hatchery did go down at the blades of that Dark Templar. There is so much going on right now. I'm surprised I still have a voice. I can feel it escaping me, but we are fine. Some Volts mixed in here, and the Titan, a really good unit. This is basically like a Colossus equivalent. It can't shoot up, and it's kind of like your tier 3 ultimate ground unit for the Keiron. And another Templar, a Dark Templar with 14 kills now. There's so much happening. Another one. How many does this have? 15 kills. So many workers killed, I assume, by those DTs. Fireally coming in clutch. Oh, this is brutal. And unfortunately, the processing core, the command center equivalent, cannot be lifted, and it will likely go down. No, it's not focusing on it, though. Kytrion able to bait this thing away. We just need a processor here. Will he be able to save this processing core is the question. Meanwhile, there's a lot more stuff going on the right-hand side of the map. Okay, here we go. Looks like the Zerg army is getting whittled down. We have some lurker support here. And looking at the mini-map, it looks like that processing core did survive. A few DTs going down. This one lurker with 6 kills is still alive, but it is virtually alone. We have another one here, actually, with 4 kills, but the observer, I believe, oh, yep, here it is. I was like, where is it? Here it is. Was able to spot those lurkers. This processing core still alive. That is outrageous. My computer is struggling to keep up with everything going on. I can see the frames struggling. This is hilarious. A lot of banelings here getting some good hits, but I mean, Immortals, they can also take baneling shots pretty easily. Unfortunately, those moles were on move command, it looks like, getting destroyed before they were able to siege up. They cannot attack when they're not deployed. And this army for Fireally with basically just Immortals is hilarious, and it's doing so much damage too. And here we go, InanisLetor with the crazy Keiron army here. Throwing down Kytrion, throwing out the GGs, I think. Good sportsmanship. We'll see. We'll see if they are able to make a comeback. And here we go, some Volts here as well. This is crazy. You guys have to try out this mod. You absolutely have to try out this mod. Kytrion throwing a real GG, and InanisLetor throwing out the GG as well. The victory going to team number 2. What a sick matchup. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.